What if the creature that terrorized West Virginia in 1966 never actually disappeared? What if it simply migrated eastward, leaving a trail of prophecies in its wake, cryptic warnings that have preceded every major disaster in the Ohio Valley for the past 58 years? The authorities won't acknowledge it. Scientists refuse to investigate it. But the pattern is undeniable. Sightings cluster before catastrophes. Eyewitnesses are silenced. And right now, Ohio is experiencing the highest concentration of Mothman encounters on record. We're about to show you the suppressed evidence they hoped you'd never see. In November 1966, the Ohio River Valley became ground zero for one of America's most documented cryptid phenomena. Over 13 months, more than 100 eyewitnesses reported encounters with a creature so bizarre that mainstream science refused to acknowledge it. A 7-foot-tall humanoid with membranous wings spanning nearly 15 feet, gray leathery skin, and hypnotic red eyes. The being, which became known as Mothman, appeared seemingly at random, materializing in fields, hovering over bridges, blocking highways. Journalist John Keel's investigation documented precise patterns. The sightings accelerated dramatically in December 1967, just weeks before the Silver Bridge catastrophic collapse claimed 46 lives. Coincidence? Authorities said yes. But what they don't want you to know is that the sightings didn't stop with the bridge disaster. Witnesses across Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Kentucky reported similar entities throughout the 1970s and 1980s. The pattern suggests Mothman migrated outward from Point Pleasant, establishing a broader surveillance network across the industrial heartland. Ohio became a particular hotspot, perhaps because of its chemical plants, research facilities, and critical infrastructure. The creature, it seems, wasn't just haunting, it was watching. Monitoring, warning. Between 1968 and 1995, Ohio experienced a persistent but deliberately obscured wave of Mothman encounters. A truck driver near Ashtabula in 1968 reported a creature blocking Route 20, matching Point Pleasant descriptions exactly. His police statement, confirmed through interviews with amateur researchers, disappeared from official records within 6 months. A 1975 incident near the Ohio-West Virginia border involved 5 industrial workers who witnessed the entity hovering above a contaminated water treatment facility. When investigators attempted to follow up, they were turned away by armed federal agents and warned not to pursue further inquiries. Why would federal authorities intervene in a local investigation unless something critical was at stake? A 1982 sighting near Cincinnati's underground tunnel system involved a maintenance worker who captured a single photograph before his equipment malfunctioned, permanently. The photograph never surfaced publicly. The Freedom of Information Act requests filed by cryptozoologists consistently returned heavily redacted documents from Ohio law enforcement. The pattern becomes clear. Authorities are aware of Mothman's activity in Ohio and have actively suppressed information. This isn't negligence. This is deliberate containment. The question becomes, what is Mothman, and what does it know about our industrial infrastructure that requires such aggressive information control? The most compelling evidence emerges when you overlay Mothman's sighting dates against Ohio's major incidents. The timeline is chilling. A cluster of 17 sightings occurred in the Ashtabula region in April 1988. Exactly 1 month later, an Amtrak train derailed near Ashtabula, killing 16 people. The official investigation blamed brake failure, but no one connected the sighting cluster to the disaster. A 2001 concentration of reports in Cleveland preceded a structural collapse at a manufacturing facility that injured 14 workers and killed 2. In 2011, A burst of sightings in the Cincinnati industrial corridor preceded a chemical facility explosion that contaminated the entire water supply for 3 counties. These aren't random correlations. This is a predictive pattern. The mathematical probability of this clustering occurring by chance is infinitesimal, less than 1 in 10,000. Mothman appears to serve as a canary in the coal mine, manifesting before catastrophic failures in critical infrastructure. But here's what's crucial. The warnings appear exclusively near sites of industrial contamination, government experimentation, or structural decay. This suggests Mothman isn't randomly appearing. It's specifically drawn to locations of imminent danger. It's not haunting Ohio, it's warning Ohio. And if the pattern continues, and current sighting activity is any indication, we may be looking at another major incident in the coming months. Since January 2024, Ohio has experienced an unprecedented surge in Mothman sightings. Over 60 documented encounters reported to cryptozoological databases, representing a 340% increase from 2023. The geographic clustering is critical. Most sightings concentrate in 4 counties: Summit, Cuyahoga, Franklin, and Hamilton. These are precisely the regions hosting major infrastructure projects, contaminated Superfund sites, and aging industrial facilities due for demolition or restoration. A February 2024 sighting near Columbus involved multiple witnesses who reported the creature circling above a new construction project built atop a former military chemical testing site. A March 2024 cluster near Akron preceded reports of mysterious vibrations and structural concerns at a century-old manufacturing complex. The pattern is accelerating. Mothman sightings historically precede disasters by 2 to 6 months. Given current activity levels, the evidence suggests a significant incident is imminent, potentially involving infrastructure failure, industrial catastrophe, or environmental contamination event in Ohio. The question authorities refuse to answer: what do they already know? Have they detected structural failures, chemical leaks, seismic instability? Is Mothman's appearance a response to environmental threats humans haven't detected? The suppression intensifies as sightings increase. Recent witnesses report being contacted by men in dark SUVs, warned against publicizing encounters, threatened with legal action. This isn't paranoia. This is documented intimidation. The pattern suggests we're entering a critical window where Ohio's warning system, whether
The Mothman Prophecy Ohio narrative commits several critical logical fallacies. First, it conflates correlation with causation. Sightings preceding disasters represent survivorship bias, not predictive capability. Thousands of reported cryptid sightings occur annually without preceding events. We simply don't remember them. Second, the evidence cited is anecdotal. Unverified witness accounts lack the scientific rigor required for extraordinary claims. No photographs, biological samples, or credible documentation supports Mothman's existence. Third, misidentification is parsimonious. Sandhill cranes and barn owls possess wingspans of 6 to 7 feet and exhibit unusual behavior patterns in low-light conditions. Human perception systematically distorts ambiguous visual stimuli into recognizable threats. This is well-established cognitive psychology, not speculation. Fourth, the government suppression argument is unfalsifiable. Absence of evidence becomes evidence of absence through circular reasoning. The NTSB Silver Bridge investigation, 1967, identified clear structural failure, not cryptid warnings. Ohio's industrial accidents result from engineering failures and human error, not supernatural precursors. The 340% increase in reports reflects internet documentation of long-standing folklore, not increased actual sightings. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. Anecdotal testimony from unverified sources fails this standard entirely.